Here's a brief case for why the United States should not make college free. First, we need to recognize that everyone is a dropout. Every individual at some point exits the educational system, whether after high school, an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or a graduate or doctoral program. So the question isn't if someone is going to drop out of the education system, it's simply when. A rational society should want people to exit at the point where their labor is more valuable in the market than continued education is in the classroom. Making college quote-unquote free distorts that decision by hiding the real costs. And let's be clear, free college does not eliminate the costs of higher education. It simply transfers them from the consumer of the education to the taxpayers. It socializes the costs while the benefits remain private. And when you socialize costs, you distort incentives and misallocate scarce resources, both financial resources and human capital. Imagine a student who under a free market would rationally choose to work after high school, perhaps in a trade or an entry-level position. But now, with government footing the tuition bill, he chooses college because someone else is paying. He's acting logically under new incentives, but society as a whole is worse off. Taxpayers fund an education that might only slightly enhance productivity, if at all, while the economy loses the value of his early labor. Resources, such as the individual's time and effort, as well as taxpayer money, are diverted from more productive uses to less productive uses. In a free market, individuals bear the cost of their continued education. And that's not cruel, it's actually informative. Prices exist to signal scarcity. When students bear those prices directly, they think carefully about where to go, what to study, and whether to go at all. That leads to a more efficient allocation of capital, as people drop out of the education system at the economically optimal point. Government-funded college flips that logic on its head. It weakens the cost signal, leading many to stay in school longer than they should or to pursue degrees with little market value. In doing so, it delays labor market entry, reduces overall productivity, and misallocates scarce resources that have alternative uses. This is not only inefficient, but it's also regressive. Free college in practice becomes a transfer of wealth from the working class to the upper and upper middle classes. Those who skip college, often to work earlier, earn less over their lifetimes and are forced to subsidize those who spend years in school, likely entering higher paying professions. Whether you measure it by income or wealth, the effect is the same, a regressive redistribution of wealth. Colleges, meanwhile, would have every incentive to raise costs. If the government pays and the students don't feel the expense directly, then there is no check on tuition growth. This is exactly what we saw when the government began backing student loans. Colleges hiked prices, knowing that the buyer was no longer sensitive to cost. If college is quote-unquote free, then this effect is amplified. The taxpayer simply becomes a blank check. When people don't bear the cost of what they consume, they also tend to value it less. In the context of free college, this means students are less likely to treat education seriously. With less personal financial stake, they may choose majors with low economic returns, attend classes half-heartedly, or spend years drifting without a clear purpose. A system where education is free at the point of use removes much of the price signal and the personal investment, and the result is predictable: over-enrollment, underperformance, and a waste of taxpayer money. A market-based education system naturally filters students into the workforce at different stages based on their abilities and the economic realities. Some people become welders at 18, others get PhDs at 30. The market disciplines those decisions by attaching real costs to them, but free college severs that link. It encourages extended schooling, not because it's efficient or helps the economy, but because it's subsidized. In summary, free college isn't actually free. It simply reallocates costs to the taxpayers, misallocates human capital, distorts incentives, benefits the wealthy, and reduces both institutional and student accountability. If we care about all Americans, we should have an education system where individuals bear the costs and the benefits of their own decisions.